Hello students, this is Sonam. So today we are going to start the fifth chapter of EVS, that is plants and animals in water. So here first of all we have to discuss what is habitat. So student, habitat is a place where a particular type of animal or plant is usually found. So that particular place where that certain type of plant or animal is found, that place is considered as a habitat for that organism. So organisms are categorized according to their habitat. We can classify the organism based on their habitat. So what are the various classification? The first one is terrestrial organism, then there are aquatic organism, the next is arboreal organism, and the fourth one is aerial organism. So we will go through them one by one. The first one is a terrestrial organism. So those organisms that live on the land are called as terrestrial organisms. So those organisms which lives on what? Which lives on land will be considered as terrestrial organism. What are the various examples? It consists of trees, ferns, elephant, camels, humans, etc. I have depicted that in the pictures also. This is an elephant, this is a fern plant, and these are the camel. So these are the various examples of terrestrial. We humans are also considered as terrestrial organism. The next type is aquatic organism. So those organisms that lives in water are called as aquatic organisms. So those organisms which are basically found in water, which lives in water, will be considered as aquatic organisms. So our chapter is based on these organisms. We will discuss them in the later slides. So what are the examples? Examples are water hyacinth, fish, prawns, etc. So this diagram is of water hyacinth, the fish, and the third one is a prawn. So these organism lives in water. So these are the aquatic organism. The next is the arboreal organism. So those organism which lives in the tree or in its branches are called as arboreal organisms. So those organisms which are found in the trees or in the branches of those trees can be considered as arboreal organism. Examples are monkeys and squirrels. So this is a monkey and this is squirrel. You are very familiar with these organisms. So these are called as arboreal organism. The next is the aerial organism. So those organisms which spend most of their time flying in the air are called as aerial organism. Examples are birds, bats, and some insects. So this is a bird flying in the sky, there's a bat flying, and this type various insects are there. So these organisms spend most of their time flying in the air. So these are called as the aerial organism. Let's move on to the next slide, that is aquatic plants. So as I have discussed already, the plants that lives in water will be considered as aquatic plants. So they are basically of three different types. First one is free floating aquatic plants, the next is rooted aquatic plants with floating leaves, and the third one is submerged aquatic plants. We'll go through them one by one. So first one is the free floating aquatic plants. So here, so those plants, there are certain plants which can be found floating on the pond and the lake. So these float on the surface of the water body. So these plants have what? They have a special characteristic, that is they are having the very spongy stems with a large number of air spaces. Because they are having this kind of stem, that is because they are having the spongy stem which is having large number of air spaces, this stem helps the plants to float on the surface of water. This is the characteristic how these plants floats on the surface of water. So these plants mainly remain in contact with water as well as air, but they are not attached to the soil. So these are the two places where they are in contact with water and the air, but they are not attached to the soil. That is why they are called as free floating aquatic plants. So examples are water hyacinth, wolffia, and pistia. So this is the wolffia, you can see here this green one, that is the wolffia, and this is pistia plant. You can see here, this is the complete plant. You can see the roots here under the water, surface of water, but they are not attached to the ground. Okay, that is why they are called as free floating aquatic plants. The next type of plant is your rooted aquatic plants with the floating leaves. So they have they are attached to the soil, but their leaves are floating. That means the roots of these aquatic plants plants are fixed to the soil. So the roots are attached to the soil, but the leaves floats on the water. So these plants have long stalk that help them to keep their leaves floating in the water. So what is the characteristic of the plant which help them their leaf to float? That is, they are having long stalk that helps them to float on the water. Their leaves will float on water. So leaves of these plants also have oily surface. So as I've told you in the previous chapter that oil does not dissolve in water. So because of that, these leaves are also have these leaves of the plants are having oily surface. Because of this oily surface, the oil does not dissolve, as we have discussed. So because of this, they help the leaves to float on water, as well as this will make the leaves waterproof. So what are the various examples of this? Water lily and lotus plant. So the first one you can see here, this is a water lily, and this is our national plant, that is your lotus plant. Next one is your submerged aquatic plant. Here the complete plant is beneath the surface of this water body. Okay, so these plant remain submerged in the water. Okay, so as you can see here in the diagram, this complete plant is submerged. This is the surface of the water body, but it is completely submerged in the water. So such plants have very thin, tiny and ribbon shaped leaves. So you can see here in the diagram, these are having very thin, tiny ribbon shaped leaves. Because of that will allow the water to pass through them with the least resistance. So the examples are, this is a hydrilla plant and this is Vallisneria. So these are the two submerged aquatic plants. The next we have to discuss is weeds. So student, there are certain plants which are not grown by us, but they grow automatically by themselves. So those unwanted plants which are growing in an area are called as weeds. So those plants which grow by themselves, are those unwanted plants will be considered as weeds. So they grow and reproduce rapidly in a great number. So they require very less time to reproduce, and their growth is very rapid and fast. So within less amount of time they will spread onto a huge large fields. So water hyacinth is an aquatic weed. So you can see here, the water hyacinth is an aquatic weed and its dense growth block the waterway of navigation. So as you can see, the complete water surface is covered with the water hyacinth. So every year large amount of money is spent on the weed control. So in order to control these weeds, large amount of money is spread, and weed control means that removal of the weeds. So weeds are harmful for our crops also, and they create problem in navigations. Next is aquatic animals. So those animals which lives in water are called as aquatic animals. Examples are fishes, whale, dolphins, turtles and crabs. So these organisms are basically found in water, so they are called as aquatic animal. Next one is fishes. So fish, all of you are familiar with the fish, students. So they are having streamlined body. So this is the diagram. They are having streamlined body. This streamlined body of the fish allow them to swim in the water with the least resistance. So this is one of the characteristics how fish swim in water, which is the property which help them to swim, because they are having streamlined body. Next one, they have gills to breathe. So these are the various external structure of this. Here is the nostril, these are the eyes, this is the mouth, these two are the fins, these are scales. You can see small dotted, these are the scales, and this is the tail part. Gills are present over here. So gills are there in the gills are present over here. So gills are capable of taking oxygen from water. In the chapter we have discussed that which gas is dissolved, which gas is found dissolved in the water body. It is oxygen that is going to help these aquatic plants and animals to survive in the water sources. So they are having gills which are capable of taking oxygen from the waters, and they have fins that help them to swim. So these fins are there which are going to help them to swim. So they have two features. Firstly, they are having streamlined body, and secondly they are having fins which help them to swim in water. Nextly, This is frogs and toads are there. They live both on land as well as in water. So I have discussed there are certain animals which can live both in water as well as on land. So frogs and toads are the example of that. So their moist skin help them to breathe when they are in water. So when they are living in the water, they have a moist skin over their whole body is covered with moist skin, which will help them to breathe. And when they are found on the land, when they lives on the land, they are having lungs, like we humans have lungs to breathe. So similarly they have two mode of respiration. First one is when they live in water, so they breathe with their moist skin. When they live on the land, they breathe through their lungs. Nextly, what help them to swim in water? They are having the webbed feet that help them to swim in water. As you can see here in the diagram, their legs, they are having these webbed feet. They are connected. Okay, there is no space between those feet. They are all connected. So this feature help them to swim in water. Nextly, the whales and the dolphins. So these are aquatic mammals. These are not fish, students. So whales and dolphins are not fish, but they are the aquatic mammals. They also have streamlined bodies like fish. These animals don't have gills. This feature differentiate between them being a fish and mammals. So as they are aquatic mammals, these are not having gills. They breathe through the lungs. What they are having? They are having lungs to breathe. So they come up to the surface of the water to breathe. So in order to breathe through their lungs, what they have to do? They have to come up to the surface. As you can see, this diagram is of a whale and this is the dolphins. So they have to come to the surface in order to breathe through their lungs. Next is turtles and crabs. So these are having pedal like flippers. So these are having flippers. These flippers help them to push the water back while they are swimming. In order to swim, they push it back with the help of their flippers. So this is a turtle and this one is a crab. So these are all aquatic animals. Next is some extra known facts are there, like electric ray. Electric ray, it generates electricity and light in the deep sea. So as you can see, this is a kind of electric ray fish which is going to generate electricity and light, and it is found deep inside the sea. This light helps the fish to find its way and the food. So this is the feature in which the electric ray can find its food as well as its way. Next is the climbing fish. So the climbing fish, here you can see here in the diagram. So this fish leaves the water at night and moves on to the land. So during night it will leave the water body and it will come to the land where when there is dew on the ground. So it is even said to climb the trees by means of the spiny gills, covers and fins. So this is the feature of a climbing fish. The next is the fusular fish. So you can see here in the diagram, there is not a single fusular fish. They are always found in a group. So the fusular fish, it travels in a group near the coral reef. So it moves in a group to protect itself from the enemy. So why these fusular fishes travel together in a group? In order to protect themselves from the enemies. Next is your human a threat to the aquatic life. So human has caused a great threat to the aquatic life. How? Humans are mainly responsible for making the rivers and seas dirty. So we are responsible for making the rivers, seas, these water sources dirty. The process of making the water dirty is called as water pollution. So we humans are causing what? We are causing water pollution, and water pollution is a great threat for the existence, for the life, for the survival of these aquatic plants and aquatic animals. So how humans are causing water pollution? There are various ways. Firstly, the sewage, that is the dirty water, is thrown into the river and the seas. Next one is harmful waste from the factories are thrown into the river and seas. So there are different chemicals which are released from the factories, directly they are thrown into the river and sea. Nextly, there is a leakage of oil or other toxic waste into the sea. So these are three three reasons why we humans are creating water pollution. We are causing water pollution. Nextly, you can see here this diagram depicts that the animals found dead on the seashore due to the water pollution. These are the various aquatic animals which are killed. They are found dead on the sea shore. The reason behind that is water pollution. So we must try hard to stop water pollution. It is in our hand to minimize these all kind of things, so that it will create less water pollution, and in this way we can save our aquatic life. So aquatic plants and animals basically depends on these water sources, and we humans are creating a problem for that. So it is our responsibility. In order, we have to find different ways in which we can save our aquatic life. So by this we are completing our this chapter 5th, that is aquatic plants and animals. Okay students, so let's move on to the exercise part of chapter 5th. The first MCQ type of question here, you have to take the correct answer from this. The first one is, organisms that live in water are called dash organisms. So we have classified the organism based on their habitat into 4 different types. So those organisms that lives in water are called as aquatic, arboreal or terrestrial. So the answer is aquatic organism. Next is, fishes breathe air through their dash. So which of the part of the fish is going to help them to breathe in air? So tracheas, lungs or gills. So I have told you fishes are having gills in order to breathe the oxygen, dissolved oxygen from the water body. Next is fill in the blanks. The place where a plant or an animal lives is called its dash. So where a particular type of plant and animals is living, that place is called as its habitat. Next is, dash is an aquatic animal without the gills. So as I've told you, whales and dolphins are aquatic mammals. They are not considered as fish, and they are having lungs to breathe the oxygen. So these aquatic animals without gills will be whale, or you can write dolphin also. The next is multiple choice question. First is a water plant attached to the soil. So which is the water plant which is attached to the soil? Hydrilla, water hyacinth or water lily? So the plant which is attached to the soil in the water body, that is your water lily. Next is, the frog has dash for swimming in water. So which feature help the frog to swim in water? Gills, webbed feet or legs? So the right answer is webbed feet help the frog to swim in water. Next type of question here we have to study is very short answer question. Firstly, you have to name 2 rooted aquatic plants with floating leaves. So those whose roots are attached to the ground in the water body, but they have floating leaves. The answer is your water lily as well as lotus. Next is, name the organs through which the frogs breathe in water. So frogs, these type of organism which lives, they can survive both, they lives on land as well as in water. So they have certain specific features which help them to survive on land as well as water. So we have to find out which organ helps the frog to breathe in water. So the answer is, in water the frog breathes through its moist skin. The next is, on the land. So the frogs lives on the land while they are breathing through the lungs. Next is short answer question here. What are weeds and why is there a need to control the weeds growth? So weeds are the unwanted plants which are not grown by us. So these unwanted plants which are growing in an area will be considered as weeds, and their growth is need to be controlled because they are going to block the waterway for navigation. So in order to prevent that, the weed control, the government is spending lot of money in order to control the growth of these weeds. Next is, why is a man a threat to aquatic life? So we humans are responsible for polluting the river as well as the sea water, which is kind of creating threat for the aquatic life. So this is a water pollution done by humans are going to cause a great threat for the existence of these aquatic organisms. Next is long answer question. First, what are aquatic organisms? Name any 4. So those organisms which lives in water will be considered consider as aquatic organism. Examples are your lotus, water hyacinth. You can another examples are fish, turtles, etc. Next is, what special feature of a fish helps to swim in water? So the fishes are having fins as well as they are having streamlined body which help them to swim in water with the least resistance. So by this we are completing our fifth chapter, student. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, take care. Thank you.